Plastered all over. Not going to put it up on the stove. Get some money for
Yeah, he's gonna call.
I'll run. Wait, did you get the
What jump got brought in?
No, I want to worry about your mask. When I get a call, I let it ring like 4 Setting is peaking.
Okay, that's probably what this is. I'm getting in there.
Yeah.
I just stepped down sending
Probably outside. That's I'm talking to this broadcast scientist.
That's the number 31.
Yeah, 317. If you talk on it, somebody might even answer you. I monitor it during the day. Usually
The organization process.
Right.
I still got a shit. The boxes are good around.
yeah, but it's a AC 16.
I walked in my garage there.
So you have to use an AC
Mine's buckets. Lots of stuff.
TZ, all the walls have TZ.
Take those up. Okay.
The only repeater that access to this area. Although they can trying to get the guys on their cable and do we want to put a repeater on because you have
Network oriented.
theoretically well, I
Yeah.
I don't.
There's something new every week.
I don't want to buy all the radio. Yeah,
No computers go with
we got a lot of guys with radios.
So
I got
I found
I can't find anything. I mean, 10 years, the only thing I can find on the only radio I found.
Next time you talk to
North to south.
say, hey, Brian,
Way too many.
I was hoping to get a repeater up on the Kimbrel Peak for DMR.
That would be nice.
It was 2 weeks ago.
I mean,
Well, found all that aviation stuff in fairgrounds. And we were looking for a partner place. Yeah, because it would be, we've got probably at least 25 to 30 DMR radios on the wire. And it's by far, so by far, it's better for each keyword. Yeah, but I can't get, I can actually, in the shack, in the concrete building, I can hit San Diego's here's stuff. I couldn't, I don't have a handheld that I could actually use to reach the 2 meter. But I have no trouble at all with DMR. And we have another guy who uses it, has to get by a window, but he uses his a curtain. So, you know, all you need is a little signal, you know, there's stuff that would be, you might get a little delayed, but it's stuff that get lost in the noise.
Real air show.
On the radar, you know, it sounds clear as a bell.
Yeah, things that came real.
Yeah, we just gotta. Get it going, get a sequence here. Well, I got all this microwave stuff. This is one of those. And I came back. I can fix that.
Station, you know, hey, there you go.
Well, it was really close. And then I got all that stuff's all done. Something else, better, another mode for the club. So I was just for the pilots and stuff. But I was working. Yeah, well, no, I know. I mean,
The good old days.
gotta do stuff here. Nice members, they're all here. I was, well, I don't know.
I've been okay.
Well, they're waiting for dinner to start.
Well, that makes a difference. Old people, all you have to do is mention food, we'll be there. May take us a while to get there. We'll get
Well, maybe you can take it over.
Well, you know, basically,
Not well this year. My health is going downhill at 66. I couldn't find a place to sit with how I'm standing to it.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, there's gravity.
All yours.
You know, well.
They are. They're just inside or something.
I don't want to see we got that.
I have two of them. And this one I had out in the car. I've been paying attention to it. And the batteries go underneath. Last time I used it,
I guess we can get started.
winding up, so maybe a little down. those all affect the current measure things about. You need to.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4.
Wire and zero and these because it doesn't feel like if you've got an accurate reading. I'll tell you, they save a lot of hassle on having to break a lead. Measure the current.
How's that?
I'm working really.
Well, that's one of the areas I don't really stress.
You want to get a Gerald, just come help out.
$5. $5.
10. Maybe easy, but I'm not cheap.
I know. It'd be worth a lot more than that, actually. I feel guilty even at 10. Okay, can I get everybody to take their seats, please?
Gentlemen, start your engines.
This is the most people I've seen in quite a while. Yeah. Hope you trust the guy sitting next to you to be, I'd be cautious of this guy here with the mask on. Yeah. Well, we're gonna have a good presentation tonight. Steve did a presentation for us several years ago. I think it was 2016, and everybody walked out of the room just amazed at, and the people that didn't make it, once they heard about it, a lot of them have been after me ever since, and they try and get Steve to come back. Well, I guess we're the first one you've done since COVID.
Yeah.
So he knows his stuff, though. I doubt he forgot anything. So let's see. Let's keep up with tradition, and where'd they move the flag? Still up there.
It's in the right place if I on my feet.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, let's, because we got a pretty good group here. Let's introduce ourselves. I'm Brian, K6 BPM, and forgot my badge.
Me too, yeah.
So we'll start over here. Levi.
I'm Levi, K6 LCM.
I'm Larry, WA6EJO.
I'm Lee, W6QYS.
And I'm sitting next to him.
I'm Dick, KM6AA.
I'm Al, Kilo Delta 9 Kilo Mike Zulu. Right, W6 UNH. Jim, AE60G.
Meg, AE60F.
Mike, Kilo November 6, Papa Echo Echo.
Rick, KG6, Victor Lima Bravo.
Wayne, Delta Foxtrot 6 Golf X-ray.
Tom, N6YX.
Steve, WA6EJO. I'm Al, WA6.
Eric, KG6WXC.
Dave, AI6BX. Wow.
TCP was that.
Yeah.
Michael, K6RPD.
Bill, WAPE1.
Ken, K6KEN. That's W6CGE.
Kilo 9, Kilo Bravo X-ray.
WA6QBT.
You know, I tell people to watch the thing on Zoom, and they say, "Who's that guy that barks?" Or not Zoom, YouTube. Okay, we got a couple of things to go over real quickly before Steve starts. As you know, if you've been to the website, you've probably seen that we have an election coming up next month. And I appointed this year for the election committee, Tom, N6YX. Dave, AI6VX, and Doc, who's not here. He's not on Zoom either. I hope Doc's all right.
No, he was gonna come, but he told me that his son told him he was driving and he went, took him out to dinner.
Oh, okay.
So,
All right, maybe he'll show up.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah, good. I'll tell you what the nominating committee came up with for the, for president, me, for secretary, Dorothy is going to be leaving the board this year, or for next year. Larry, you want to stand up and introduce yourself, WA6MBJ? And for treasurer, CFO again, back from his trip to Egypt this year, Tom. Director at large, Levi Maya. Director at large, Dave Schmidt, AI6DX. Director at large, Wayne Beckman. And Director at large, Mike Watner. And I hear we have another one coming who is going to get nominated, I guess. So we also have a issue that will be on the ballot regarding the bylaws. We made a few edits to make the bylaws actually match the way we do business these days. Well, the bylaws don't say anything about using credit cards, auto pays, or debit cards. And almost all the bills now are paid, either with a credit card online or with an auto pay. And so we're correcting the language there to make it a little bit more up to date. Also, a little bit in the job descriptions. The part of the job description for the treasurer CFO position included maintaining a roster of all the members, although that's now all been computerized and the computer does it. So it's really not necessary in the job description. So at any rate, it's we'll just sort of bring things up to the current state of affairs in the world. So that'll be on there. There's a notice on the website that's up this afternoon. And it talks about the election, it talks about nominations, and it also shows you there's a link you can click on there and see the bylaws that's redlined, the things that we're going to remove and what we're going to replace it with in blue. So it ought to be clear for anybody that wants to look at it. And Wayne and Tom worked on the bylaws edits this year. So I think that's work to do that kind of stuff. So we appreciate it. And I think that's about it from me before anybody else have any announcements or anything they want to?
Everybody vote just the way it lays.
Well, there's the October 30th thing that Levi can speak to.
Oh, you want to talk about the CCIC event? Yeah, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Okay.
You're on, Levi, yeah.
October 30th, 11 to 2, I think we said, down in Carpinteria. We'll have an open house at the old Bank of America building, now Chrisman, California Island Center. It's the new home of the K6TZ Carpinteria Club Station. It was furnished with radios courtesy of a grant from ARDC, Amateur Radio Digital Communications, the foundation with a very large endowment that they're using to fund mostly digital projects, but projects of all kinds across amateur radio. They've put some funds into the ARRL. They've given funds directly to radio clubs across the country, and we were a recipient of a $35,500 grant from them to outfit that station. So we've got a beautiful corner in the Chrisman, California Island Center down there. We've got HF, VHF, UHF all operational, DMR. We've got 2 brand new computers, a Mac and a PC, and we're about 85, 90% done with everything we want to do. We still have left to set up an interactive display, but the center isn't actually open quite yet. So we'll get in there, we can operate when we want. But their plan is, well, you'll see when you get down there, but their plan is to actually, now that they're almost finished with the inside, is to make the outside equally as beautiful. So when you pull up, it'll kind of look like a construction site and a closed bank, and you'll think, what is this? Pull into the parking lot, park, and come on inside. You'll see what the transformation is on the inside. And their goal in the next 9 to 12 months is to do the same thing with the outside, making it they'll have a memorial to the conception boat fire with the original propeller from the boat, as well as a lot of other artifacts, both inside and outside, that have to do with maritime history and island history throughout California, Baja California, and down across the state and into Mexico. So come on down on a week from Sunday, 11. We'll have pizza and some snacks and some goodies, sodas, whatever. Just let us know you're coming. On the website, there's an RSVP. It's free for members and guests. We're just asking for a donation to help fund the goodies while you're down there. So hope to see you there.
11 to 2?
11 to 2, I think is what we said it was. Yeah, 11 to 2.
I'll write it on Google Maps. How do you spell Christmas?
Well, it's not in Google Maps. I think if you, well, you might look up Santa Cruz Island Foundation, but the address is on the website, spark.org. So, yeah, Linden and Carp.
Linden and Carpentry, just look for the building with the antennas on the roof.
Yeah.
They're all still shiny and everything, so you can't miss it.
Yeah.
Something about bringing your own chair.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. So we are asking people to, we're going to bring some tables and some tents and stuff, but if you have one of those camping chairs or just a folding chair, throw it in your trunk, because it's going to be hard for the club to bring, for us, we're organizing it, to bring chairs for everybody to sit down. So
We don't have any chairs.
we don't, yeah, well, unless we're going to come and get these.
Yeah.
We don't have any chairs. So
Everybody take a chair with you when you go
yeah,
tonight.
we have 2 chairs there. So if more than
Yeah.
Brian and I show up, we're out of luck. So just bring a folding chair, a camping chair, something to sit on, and we'll have some tables and tents and whatnot outside, but the chairs are a pain.
Are you working down there at all, or is anybody down there during the day to just?
Usually,
By all the time, but I've never gone in.
yeah. If you're interested in going in and operating, let me know. Yeah. If you're interested in going in and operating, I'm not usually there, but Marla Daly, who's the president of the Santa Cruz Island Foundation, is usually there. And if we just shoot her an email and say, hey, I want to come in and check it out. And certainly after you become familiar with it on Sunday, you can go down and operate whenever you want. I think she'd love the company. So we're trying to build a core of people who are willing to staff the station for events that they have. The way the California Island Center will work is it won't just be like open to the public like the Sea Center on the wharf or the Museum of Natural History. It'll be kind of like a by appointment thing. I mean, I'm sure if you knocked on the door, you could come in, but I think the idea is that school groups will come in, different, private groups will come in for tours, and of course, any researchers, they'll have a huge trove and archive of stuff. So there will be people there, and they will have events there, and they're hoping that the radio club will have people down there who are passionate about radio, and we'll talk about what the capabilities that we have as a club and give a demonstration of what HF radio looks like. So.
Maritime Museum?
Yeah.
Zoom meeting going on. I can hear my earphones.
Go in and introduce yourself.
Yeah.
And, they've made it clear that, we're going to have access to it whenever we want. So if there's contests.
Is this going on
that
right
are coming
now?
up that people want to participate in and they want to go use that station, once we give you the run through of what the radios are and what they do and how to fire everything up, you can be on your own. So.
Rick and then Ken.
That'd be a good place for.
Same.
Yeah.
It could, yeah.
Yeah, we could do field day. The building is solar powered, and we're looking at building our own solar backup capability as well. It's sort of the first goal was to get it on the air, and then we have a few other projects, including mesh networking and point-to-point wireless that we're going to add to the station. But the core radios are all on the air now, so yeah, you could easily do field day there. Ken?
2 questions. I typed in Santa Cruz Island Foundation. I got 5045 Walden Way.
Yeah, I suggested that they change it, and they accepted it, but apparently it's not updated. So no, it's across the street from that, but yeah,
And the second question, does it have its, wait, do we have, is there a separate call sign for?
it's K6TZ. Yeah. But yeah, just look on spark.org. It has the address there. Mhm.
Right at the intersection of the main drags in town. So you can't miss it.
It's big shiny antennas.
Yeah, like I said, look for the shiny antenna. There's a
Right there, and you're right. as you go.
couple of disc cones or one disc cone and a couple of tri-banders, and then there's one of those hex B, what are they? The cobweb antennas. And there's a steel parapet around the top of the roof. Otherwise, it looks like a bank. It looks like a bank.
Playing Jane right now.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else from anyone? Okay, then I will turn it over to Steve Noll and let him blind us with science here.
Thanks, Brian.
This is so the Zoomers can hear.
Okay.
So, and later, if they have questions, then I can put the output on the speaker.
Wow, that's like modern stuff.
It's like science. It's pretty good.
And we're recording the video.
I've given this talk a number of times. I still have to go by my notes though. So this is about antennas propagation and microwave optics. And I brought an assortment of antennas with me: quarter wave ground plane, dipole, a 10 element loop Yagi, corner reflector, several helices, and they're all in that box because we're doing everything at 10 gigahertz. So why 10 gigahertz? Because you can get several wavelengths across a table this long, where 6 meters, well, you get one wavelength across the table. So you can demonstrate a lot of stuff with the higher frequency. The wavelength's about 3 centimeters or 1 1/8 inches. So very handy. And it's not that hard to work with. For one thing, is for a microwave band for ham radio, this one has the most hardware available surplus still from use in radar, military radar, police radar, automatic door openers and stuff. There's no microwave band where there's more hardware available to work with. And it's really not that difficult to work with this stuff. So we'll have to start with the transmitter. And we're going to use the old school gun diode. It's got to be one of the world's friendliest diodes. It's hard to burn one out. They're a few volts DC, you've got microwaves out. So this is some commercial surplus gun diode mount, and it has waveguide output, WR90 rectangular waveguide. The output is strongly polarized, and it's that gun diode source and a battery, and you're on the air. A few 10 milliwatts or so, maybe 20. And so vertical polarization this way, you'll see just how polarized this stuff is. So it really helps to show certain things. So I'll pass around some stuff. This is like a gun diode front end, gun diode, detector diode. You can make an entire transceiver out of this. I think almost everyone here is old enough to remember klystrons. When we started with these, we made these things called polaplexers. One of these in a tin can, and a probe at a right angle for receive that was like 30 megahertz difference, and got the shock of my life off one of these. But I think a total of like 900 volts across them. So also today you can get these dielectric resonator oscillators. eBay, they're now under $3. They're a couple sets of little patch antennas They're made for Doppler motion detectors, 5 volts, 10 gigahertz out. There's now on eBay $6 delivered 24 gigahertz versions of these. But the only thing I've got, my spectrum analyzer only goes to 22, and my power meter only goes to 10 gigahertz. My counter will go to 26. So I'm going to get some just for heck. I added the SMA connector to this one.
Oh, that's cute.
So fun stuff. So we need a receiver. There's a sale on these cans. Little more in here. A commercial surplus waveguide diode mount, 1N23 old ancient diode. They work great for 10 gigahertz. I think there's a 1N21 for like 3 gigahertz. And some amplification, drives the meter. It'll drive a light tower, as I'll show you later. And it also drives a speaker with a tone that rises with signal strength. So it's really handy to show what's going on.
Doesn't that have a modulation?
No, not even. No, the gun dial's just CW output.
The ones that we used to use had a FM modulator on them.
Well, the Gunplexer was a commercial, was product for hams. Microwave Associates was essentially a front end with a gun diode, a varactor, and a detector diode. And the varactor, you put your audio on the varactor, and it'll just tweak the gun's frequency a little bit because the capacitance changes. And same with the Polaplexer with the Clystron. I think that your IF strip was 30 megahertz away. And so you'd have one guy was on 10.25, the other guy's on 10.28. You could do like full duplex with those. Wish they still made them, but they don't. Okay, let's continue on. This is sort of a visual aid.
Gemini.
I rebuilt all this after the Thomas fire. Lost all my original stuff and got it all done. I have so I got this Milwaukee skill saw, and it came with 4 batteries. And I started thinking, why screw around with gel cells and stuff? I'm going to use these batteries. You can buy the connector eBay or Amazon for your power tool batteries. It's pretty cool.
That's a good concept.
And then it's like, it'll run this stuff for a long, long time. So let's kind of help these things go. The audio gets a little annoying. First thing is polarization, and strongly vertically polarized and extreme. See, we aren't even at that high of a signal level. Bang. That's sweet.
How many dB do you think is cross?
I do not know for waves. I do not know. Anyways, it's strongly linear polarized. And so thinking of polarization, you think of Polaroid filters, and they work at RF. In fact, everything I'm going to show you tonight works from low frequency RF through X-rays and beyond. It's all electromagnetic radiation, just a matter of scale. So this is polarizer and turn our gain up. One way, the other way. So for your sunglasses, they take a PVA plastic, dope it with iodine, stretch the film, and you get essentially the equivalent of these wires, and it's pretty effective. The spacing's not critical. They try for maybe a 10th wavelength or less, I think. These are just brass rods soldered on. Also, there's reflective features too. I can show that. There it reflects. Here it does. Kind of neat.
Does the polarizer changing the polarization or is it filtering
Reflects.
when you're going straight through it?
The vertical electric field going this way, it goes straight through it. Here, it's reflected off the wires.
So it's back to the transmitter.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Horrible SWR. Yeah.
You get a phase reversal and reflected.
Let's see. Polarization. So let's look at antennas. And we'll start with a ground plane, sort of the most basic, simple antenna. And here's a quarter wave ground plane at 10 gigahertz. Pretty easy to build. If you really want to like tune them up best, you use a directional coupler. It's probably the cheapest way to do it. Check out a ground plane and see if it works the way it's supposed to. And we'll put that on the transmitter. Modified binder clip. And jack. Okay. So we're dealing, okay, with the ground plane. Well, what do we expect? Vertically polarized, nada, nothing. And just what it's supposed to do. Equally, except up. Nothing at all. Why you don't use it for satellites? Obviously. Super well polarized. So next step, what's the next one up? Dipole. Look at a dipole. Who builds a dipole at 10 gigahertz? I do.
Great hair.
Fascinating stuff.
Oh, yeah. Look carefully.
It's in there somewhere.
Okay, dipole at 10 gigahertz. And it is horizontally polarized. And it works up. But you know, it doesn't work off the ends. Doesn't work off the ends. This end. Super. Just what you'd expect. So, what's the next step up from a dipole? Let's add some parasitic elements. So The Yagi UDA array,
Giant Yagi.
invented in 1926 by Shintaro Udi of Japan, with a lesser role played by his colleague Hidetsugu Yagi. However, the name Yagi has become more familiar, with the name of UDA often being omitted. This appears to have been due to Yagi filing a patent on the idea without UDA's name on it. Dirty rat. So,
I'll use it all the time.
yeah. Oh, yeah, signal here from my. So it's Yagis, what, a dipole with a reflector, usually one reflector element, and then some directors that often tapering length. Could this possibly work at 10 gigahertz? I'm just hand holding this. Would you have thought this would work 10 gigahertz? This stuff I've scaled from 1296 inches. That's 8-fold away. That's a long ways away. And this is.
How long did it take to make it work?
The first one pretty much worked right off. And then another similar one. Yeah, similar one didn't work quite as well, so I got more careful with my building technique. And unfortunately, I have a no in a lathe. I got a piece of wood, and I cut the pattern I needed, and it's a soldering fixture for 10 gig Yagis. And boy, that worked well. So just to prove, still polarized, like all get out. Nothing off the side to speak of. This is what it's supposed to. Would you have thought that was possible to do? So if you leave with anything here tonight, leave with this. Just try it. You can't believe what stuff works that you think, oh, you can't scale that far. You can't make that accurate to work. Believe it or not, pretty much everything I tried worked. Maybe not optimum, but it did work. So just try it. So another neat antenna is pretty simple and has some game is a corner reflector. Now this is not a big leap to make, but corner reflector is just a dipole and a reflector. They're really pretty cool. You can get a lot of gain, and depending on how you design the reflector, you can kind of tailor the beam width. And so I was on my roof one night. This is years ago when I was interested in 1296, and I built this really nice corner reflector. It was big, and it wasn't even a corner. It was like I did like a half of an ellipse. I thought this got to really work well, and it's pretty big. I'm up on my roof, and Steve Black, WA6EJO, a few miles away on his roof, and pointing there. This should work. This should work. It didn't work. I'm like pointing, and there's like, where's the signal? And then I start just kind of waving the antenna around, and Oh, there it is. It's down. And then I point the antenna up. There it is. I had tuned this thing really carefully. I had access to John WA6EJO's lab. He did the synthocoder and the thing people use the FT8 on. That SWR is excellent. Unfortunately, there's more than one spacing from the dipole to the reflector where the SWR is good. And so I had a great match, but the wrong spacing. So when it's right, it does what it's supposed to. Yeah. Directed forward, of course. Pretty decent. So that was my lesson. SWR is not everything. I think
Parabolic instead of our corner.
I think it has an advantage. I'm not sure how much. Yeah. Yeah, SWR is not everything. And too often people really don't think about, okay, what's the pattern of this thing? So what if it's a good match? So onward. But loop Yagis are interesting. So that's wonder. So you got your right hand and you got your left.
Yeah, those are helices.
Excuse me, helices. So I haven't got the loop Yagis. Helices are, I mean, can you wind a wire around a pencil? You can make one. Okay. They have they're simple. They have some interesting properties. You don't see them too often. Sometimes like rocket launches or satellites that you don't know what the polarization is necessarily. So let's just have a look at what they do. Easy to make. Oh, it's already working. Yeah. Yeah, it's and the only real trick is the match, which is I think near like the first part of the first turn to the reflector. But I don't know. I just did it and it worked. So here's what's useful. And they really work. Really highly directional and insensitive to rotation. So again, if you're trying to pick up signal from a tumbling satellite, if you're using circular, that's a help. There's between a circular and a linear polarization, about a 3 dB loss. Between crossed circulars, 10 to 20 dB. It's huge. So interesting properties when you get to reflection. So we have our reflector. It's pretty much nothing. Let's look at, oh yeah, this is a good property too. Downside, 2 meters, they're about 25 inches diameter. So they get a little big. So I have here a right hand. So not near as much. I'm just really filming the power here, but polarization sense is reversed on reflection. So that's interesting. Is it useful? I don't know, but it's interesting. And circular, I think, can have some advantages for reducing flutter, because you're always the right polarization. But where do you run into this a little more often? 3D movies. Okay, the newer ones use circular polarization. Back in the day, it was what was a red and green filter, pretty hokey. And then linear polarization, then circular. Why they go to circular? Because you can tilt your head and it won't mess up the picture. See some interesting effects. Circular polarization. I will pass around real 3D movie glasses and mirror. So here's the deal. Put the glasses on. Close one eye. Look at yourself in the mirror. See what you see. The explanation is on the back of the mirror. It's some people it's kind of shocking. Okay. A little more radio oriented. Velocity of propagation. Where do we run into that? Coax. Let me do a velocity of propagation demo here. I will need a horn. Small, no, we need a large.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll put that on the receiver.
Oh, wow. That's right, right? Yeah. You can only see his closed
Yeah.
eye.
Like what? If you can find a use for that, let me know. Just interesting. Okay. Velocity of propagation. Where we're concerned with that in a coax cable, right? Well, let's have a look at an interesting experiment. I have a slab of ordinary paraffin wax, and I'm going to put it. In front of the horn. It transmits. It's not great, but it transmits RF. Now I'm going to slide it in front of the horn. Halfway through, the signal is totally gone. I mean, what the heck? I mean, it transmitted RF. Where'd it go? Isn't it there? Half. The reason is the velocity of propagation of this paraffin is such that it slows the wave half of the wavefront down 180 degrees. They cancel. So just from plain old chunk of wax. And it's like,
Frequency dependent?
yeah, the thickness will, yeah. I didn't bring it. I actually have a wedge, like a prism, like this long of paraffin. The tape rings down. You can move it through and see it go through the cycles. What I find is, so the paraffin has a dielectric constant of about 2.2, which equates to a velocity of propagation of 67%. So the thickness of this delays the wave front it's in front of by essentially 180 degrees. So I find this interesting. I never was that much into math, but this is kind of interesting. So the velocity of propagation, you think coax, because coax cable, like if you have a harness connecting 2 or 4 antennas together to a combiner, but you want to make sure those same coax and the same length. Index of refraction. What do you think of there? Lenses, it's an optical thing, right? Dielectric constant, what do you think? Capacitor dielectric? Substrate you'd make a microstrip line circuit on? You need to know the dielectric constant. What's interesting is the velocity of propagation equals the reciprocal of the refractive index, which equals the reciprocal of the square root of the dielectric constant. They're all related. I find that interesting. Look at that way. Let's see. I have this magic box here, and I think you've seen before. Let's see. By the way, I have these locking switches on all my stuff, so I don't show up with a dead battery, because plus I have a spare transmitter and receiver in the box. Okay, we've got kind of a medium signal there. Yeah, what's in the box? Who knows? Someone here should know. Yes, this is just a blob of paraffin. Fill in. Okay, and a light to try to fool you. So what's in the box? What's in the box? So what's the guess now? So it's a 10 gigahertz repeater. It's a 10 gigahertz amp, a dipole on one side of this piece of PC board, and you can't see there's a dipole on the other side of the PC board. So now you think if you try this, you know you're going to make an oscillator, but it actually works. Again, just try it. It's amazing what works. Let's see. Okay, something different again. Let's see. So here we have an envelope of game. So it's so it's what is in that envelope? It doesn't take power. This will help. up. A little more visible. I need an electric one of these. Close enough. There's more signal with it in the test. And it's a hole. It's just a foil. There's a certain focal length. So this is called a diffractive or Fresnel zone plate. Well, I'll tell you, if Mr. Fresnel had a nickel for everything named after me, he'd still be dead. So Fresnel zone plate works by blocking parts of the wavefront that would be out of phase, allows through parts that constructively interfere. So this is used in optical and X-ray wavelengths also. Not so much in RF. Yeah, can you make a, I don't know, but I got wondering that it's like, it's a hole that has gain. So I thought, well, just make a big hole. And let's turn the gain down some. It's just to find the right position. So I assume it's diffracting on the edges of the hole. But yeah, so there's a formula for designing those rings, often multiple concentric rings. They'll give you what the focal length will be. So actually, a hole has gain. I don't know. What else? Let's. Oh, here's a different version of this thing. That's some gain. This is a 3 concentric rings of paraffin. Again, it has a dielectric constant other than the air around it. And so this is called a phase zone plate. A single ring will also work somewhat. And so if that'll work. Here's the wax ring that's underneath your toilet.
It works. There you go. Lots of gain. Lots of gain.
Yeah. So it's got a velocity of propagation other than the air around it, and it bends the waves. Yeah, what if you stack several together? Like should they taper in diameter? I don't know. So what's something else we can demonstrate that's a little more relatable? How about ducting? Because people have talked to Hawaii here before from the beach or the handheld with a duct for. So let's see if we can make a duct. Again, this kind of stuff would be really hard to show at 2 meters. So, yeah. So we have a duct one in here. A little more gain. It's just a piece of styrofoam. It weighs almost nothing. It's mostly air or, I don't know, nitrogen, whatever gas they put in. And
So it's the 2 surfaces.
yeah, it's the change at the surface. So a reading from Wikipedia, so you know it is true. The reduced refractive index due to lower densities at higher altitudes in the Earth's atmosphere bends the signals towards the Earth. Signals in a higher refractive index layer, i.e. duct, tend to remain in that layer because of the reflection and refraction encountered at the boundary with a lower refractive index material. In some weather conditions, such as inversion layers, density changes so rapidly that waves are guided around the curvature Earth at a constant altitude. So all you need to do to work Hawaii in 2 meters is a 2,400-mile long piece of styrofoam.
No problem.
Piece of cake. So let's look at standing waves. That's something you encounter in ham radio. Standing wave ratio or antenna match. We will move our horn to our transmitter. And we can kind of see the standing wave. Okay. Off here. So we have a source, and we'll use a ground plane.
The basis of a long-range surveillance system.
I'll use a ground plane as our sense antenna. So we'll need to get that back high up again. We have a transmitter and a receiver and a reflector. Okay, so turn this on. Turn this on. Here's the standing wave. Better extinction. You measure your wavelength this way. So every other dip or peak is one wavelength distance. So this is, okay, think of this as a transmission line and bad antenna. Shorten the coax, open the coax, whatever. So you see quite a difference here between the peaks and dips. Standing wave range. What if you have a better match? Much less. Bad match. And a dummy load. See a little bit. So that's standing wave right before your eyes. And a slotted line is another device used for that, and it kind of works the same way. A little probe that moves along to measure. This one's a little more difficult to demonstrate, but usually you can pull it off. Knife edging. Knife edging. I think we can just just get it to work. We need we have a transmitter. This is kind of a stretch at what you can demonstrate, but it should work. I think we'll go with it. Oh, I missed the whole interesting thing. Okay, so we need a mountain to. We see the Fraser 10 gigahertz beacon at home, Ventura, and there's a mountain in the way. It's unbelievable. This is subtle. Okay, as I said, it's a little stretch as to what you can demonstrate, but we'll try it anyway. We got a signal, so we'll see if we can see what I'm looking for here. Okay. Okay, there was a peak and a dip. It's slight. There, dip. Peak, dip. Okay, this is for real. If you go on Google and Google knife edging, they'll show, oh, transmitter, mount, and receiver, you get a signal. You keep searching, you'll find a drawing that shows it for real, that there's a diffraction pattern here that you don't normally see that explained when it comes to knife edging. So that's knife edging for real. I forgot one whole. We'll try it. Speaking of index of refraction and lenses and such. A little elevation here. Don't need that much gain. Okay, we have some signal here. It's a lens of paraffin. Has some amplification. Try this. Okay. Yeah, it's a little hard to find the focal length, but it's yeah. Okay, it's just paraffin melted, poured in a bowl to lens. It's a plastic magnifying glass lens. Has an index of refraction other than the air around it, so it works as a lens. at 10 gigahertz. Would you have thought that? Glass magnifying glass. Magnifying glass. It gets better. Wood. Just wood. Half a wood ball. It transmits RF, not perfectly, but well enough. And it has an index of refraction other than the air around it. So it's like, would you have thought a wood lens would work? I wouldn't have, but it did. Fresnel zone is interesting. Fresnel zone is something you can't actually encounter.
Sure beat nuts and bolts.
Yeah.
What are those horns made out of?
These are brass.
The bigger ones you were just using them on?
They're metallized plastic. They're like the second generation of the Maycomb gunflexor horn. The first ones were actually a blackened aluminum, and then came the metallized plastic. Works quite well. The metallized plastic, Microwave Associates had sold them with the gunflexors at one time. I've seen them on the, in fact, I had to buy those on the surplus market. Gunflexor is a, that's the actual device made by Microwave Associates for the amateur market. And it was a old device with a gun diode, a varactor, and a detector diode at 10 gigahertz. Okay. Where are we at?
It worked pretty good. At one time, the world record was set by the Italians and was several hundred miles with 2 gunflexors.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
They had the right inversion.
Okay, this is
Growing in California, the Mount Thomas, and they just.
I'm gonna change the height of this reflector between the transmitter and receiver. Otherwise, there's a direct path, but that pink set total extinction. Pink, much stronger than the signal was originally. Nothing like that. Total extinction. So these are Fresnel zones. This setup's also called a Lloyd's mirror. I'm not sure why, but I don't know who Lloyd was. So, reading from Wikipedia, so we know it is true. If unobstructed, radio waves will travel in a straight line from transmitter to receiver, but if there are reflective surfaces along the path, such as bodies of water or smooth terrain, the radio waves reflecting off of those surfaces may arrive either in phase or out of phase with the signals that travel direct. Waves that reflect off the surfaces within a even Fresnel zone are out of phase with the direct path wave and reduce the power of the received signal light to 0. Waves that are reflect off surfaces within an odd Fresnel zone are in phase with the direct path and can enhance the power of the received signal, like almost double it. This sometimes results in the counterintuitive finding that reducing the height of an antenna increases the signal to noise ratio. Height diversity. I believe some commercial sites with towers have receive antennas at two different heights in a voting system to pick the best one at the moment, depending on what the atmosphere is doing. It's a possible contributor to picket fencing. It's an issue with antenna measurements. You always have problems with reflections. Some people call this ground gain. I recently measured the, yes.
You show bigger as well, we just see.
Oh yeah. Well, so you see the signal level here. Take it here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I recently, I was really bugged. I put out a query, what's the gain of a ground plane? I got answers from minus 0.84 dBi to plus like 5.7, all documented. Some of them were from the government, all over the place. So I just thought I'm going to measure the gain of ground plane. So I made two at like 449 megahertz. To measure them in the backyard. I had to make like 39 readings until I had enough to be sure it was the reflections off the ground. Because I've measured antenna gain before. They were always directional antennas. So you had a lot less of that. For the ground plane just squirting it all over the place. It was a mess. But I finally got enough readings. But yeah, ground gain will kill you. I'm at an hour here. Just a few more things I can do if anybody's interested. Let's see. I can do the. I can do the NVIS demo if you want. That's I don't know if I did that. It's a totally different kind of an animal.
I bet you don't have any problem with your Wi-Fi in your house.
Actually, yeah, I hardwired my house in Cat 8. Everything's pretty much hard connected. Well, just go for the gold, you know.
Or the RF.
We have vision of all these deep little lenses.
Put a magnifying glass out in the middle of the channel out there.
Yeah.
We might be able to,
Or a big loop.
yeah.
Oh.
I could use a hand with this.
Hands off.
Yeah, just take that and pull it back slowly. I don't know if I showed this one before. Okay.
Somebody else at the end.
It'll all be new to you. Okay. Oh, no, I pulled out. So this is an array of 10 gigahertz receivers. They're not really good because this isn't my strength, designing stuff like that. And we can show NVIS near vertical incident skyways happening. Let's see. here. The strength of polycarbonate. And this is crack like stabilize it there and yeah, just hold it there. Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
Connect.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, it's not like acrylic that cracks if you look at it crooked. Thanks. Okay. Let's see what we can get from that. 9 volts. So the deal with NVIS is emergency communications on HF, but emergencies are usually local. So you're not trying to talk to Massachusetts. So you want your HF signal, which sometimes it's hard to talk it across town, but you want the beam to go more straight up to bounce off the ionosphere back straight down. So, oh, I don't want to see it. You want to see it. So as it is, it's that when you mount an antenna really close to the ground, it tends to then make the signal go straight up. So we can see a pattern change when we change the height of the dipole to the ground. In this case, I'm going to raise the ground, not lower the dipole. So it's easier mechanically. And the pattern of LEDs will change. You see how much they change going through these. And here we are at the lowest. And we probably need a little alignment there, but now when it's real close to ground, you get some more at high angles. So that's NVIS. And how would I do that at 2 meters in here? Yeah, so little crude, but it yeah, but it works. NVIS, more or less.
What's the wavelength above ground for a normal NVIS in wavelengths? It's gonna be what, 1/8 or?
I've seen pictures where the people just laid the wire antenna on the ground or on a driveway. So I don't know what it is.
It's interesting.
Okay. How are we doing?
Fine.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Anything else really? Oh, I find this interesting anyway. We can plot an antenna pattern. This is what I made a while back for plotting antenna patterns on a table. And so this is the mechanism, and it will draw a polar plot of the antenna gain. And we'll stick a polar paper there, and it's built around the whole thing relies on a motor-driven linear pot. Pass this around. This is like all it takes. Okay. And let's see. I think we'll do. Oh, I never showed you the loop Yagi. So it is a loop Yagi. So put the loop Yagi on the receiver. A loop Yagi? Are you serious?
Sure.
Just try it. You know that hobby brass tubing? Stuff is so cool. Build all kind of stuff on. Of course, the diameters aren't optimum for making a loupé. Again, this was scaled from 10 gigahertz. I mean, could it possibly work?
Yeah, right.
It's cheap.
That's cool.
There we are. And we might as well hook this up over here. Okay, and porno.
Maybe that's also. Yeah, UHF, I've seen
He
the
has a steady hand.
Okay, of course. Loop Yagi. It's this one's horizontally polarized. Pretty good difference between horizontal and vertical in my plotter. And good side to side, front to back will be good. Little bit, should be, it's normal. Get all kind of reflections now. I'd say that works. So let's see if we can plot an antenna pattern and get the paper stuck down here. Can that work? Yeah, it'll go up some more.
Get a video while you do it, so that
This is the work. I built an optical goniophotometer, just kind of with a stepper motor driving a little like 4-inch rotary table. I mount LEDs or detectors on there to get the radiation pattern. Work great. Okay, I need to adjust the gain. And I think we're about. We can need to adjust it here. Okay, I think I'm gonna drop a pen in. And I tried to buy plotter pens today. Wow, talk about a rare thing. So, this is all you have to do. Whoops, we went over the gain setting.
But there it is. Yeah.
And it plots the polar plot for you. Yeah, we kind of went a little over, but it definitely works. Polar plot, that's simple. It kind of. Besides, who'd think you could make a loop Yagi at 10 gigahertz? I mean, like, I think we. Yeah, I have a two slit for two slit interference. It's not that interesting. So I think we'll wind it up here. How's that? Just try it.
A quick question.
Yeah.
Okay, this is, I don't know. I forgot to lock the car with the key fob. So
Okay.
we're about 50 yards past the car. And of course, the key fob, pointing it at the car doesn't work. And the superstition, you hold it up under your chin.
Oh, really?
open your mouth and it worked.
Oh, that'd be interesting. I would try that.
So why does that work? Why
You got a, what, a 433 megahertz.
So your
mouth
mouth
cavity?
cavity is a tuned reflector or
Yours might be.
Um,
How many
I last worked at Advanced Photonix in Camarillo. Advanced Photonix, we made custom photodiodes and custom LED displays. We make I worked there 22 years, senior test engineer. Yes, they are. Advanced Photonix. They've been, I think OSI has bought them. We bought a lot of companies when I was there. We still make the fuse for the rolling airframe missile, which was developed at SBRC. Guy who worked on it there came and worked for us for a while. Interesting job. It was enjoyable.
What do you yourself do there?
I design, build the test equipment and some of the assembly equipment we use to make the products, to make the photodiodes, burn-in equipment. I do any of the really difficult tests. I just do myself. I built a big machine that measures most all of our photodiodes. It automatically measures absolute responsivity. It gives you a curve, and they use that like every day. And before that, I was like 4 years at a little semiconductor startup in Ventura. We made thin film circuits. It was like all R&D, show and tell for DARPA and stuff. And I got to work with high vacuum systems and sputtering, and that was fun. I love that stuff.
Terrible life.
Yeah. That one was 7 miles from my house, and like every day I thought, you know, if I didn't have to eat, I'd work here for free. It was just so much fun.
There's a group of guys that I hear every couple of months on the rabbit/cactus system doing, I believe, 10 gigahertz contests.
Oh, are you kidding? Yeah. No, I'm not. I'll tell you why.
Oh.
To me, it's not a challenge. I don't want to tell them that's insulting. You would not believe the amount of 10 gigahertz sideband activity there is. There's at least one or more contests that the San Bernardino Microwave Society Club runs. And these guys, they make, I wouldn't say hundreds, but dozens and dozens and dozens of contacts on 10 gigahertz. They even have a get on the air at night from home just to talk to each other. The 10 gigahertz sideband, is so advanced nowadays. It works incredibly well. They bounce their signals off of mountains, and I went to
guys down there by the border that got involved in that.
Yeah, this is these guys are really into it, really experts. In the amateur television group I'm in, we broadcast their meetings on ATV. These guys are the top of the top. They really know their stuff. And you wouldn't believe the activity. The state of the art of 10 gigahertz sideband is incredible. And they make contacts with a couple of watts. And
I hear them bouncing off of airplanes all the time.
airplane bounce. Yeah, that's another one. But they're, a lot of the activity is like going up to these various sites to make contacts. And they use cactus as a liaison. And I don't want to go up to hilltops anymore myself. So I went to one of, they have a tune-up party in Costa Mesa like once a year. And I went there one time to see it all. They have a lineup of their rigs. And that the Pat N6RMJ used to be in the Ventura County area. He was there with it's a tripod. Everybody has these super beefy tripods and 1 to 2 different brands of transverters and like a 2-foot dish, usually not bigger. And Pat would, he turned his dish and, well, there's the Palos Verdes beacon. Beep, beep, beep. Well, there's the Fraser beacon. Beep, beep, beep. There's the other beacon. Beep. It's like, this is too easy. It's like FG8. It's too easy.
Is it a down converting to 30 megahertz sideband array.
No, it's like they usually use 432 or 2 meters. Down
Okay.
converting.
Oh, okay.
There's a German transverter, Kuhn, I think that's popular, and Down East Microwave, I think, still makes one. It's 3-way. Yes.
What's 474,000 gigahertz?
That's terahertz.
Yeah.
That's helium neon red.
Okay.
63.
It's visible.
Yeah, the 632.8 nanometers. Yeah, 474 terahertz. Yeah.
Is anybody doing EME on gigahertz?
I think so, and I think there might be, correct me if I'm wrong, I think there's a beacon being transmitted from Europe bouncing off the moon for people. Yeah, impressive. Nothing you can do with a little dipole.
What did you do with your laser communication? Like, when does it stop becoming radio and become visible light? As far as like, is there a hard threshold?
No.
Or is it sort of like
No, I don't believe there's a hard
because
threshold.
I mean, tonight you showed us things that we thought probably would only be possible with visible light.
Yeah.
And obviously it's 10 gigahertz, which is
Yeah.
not really close to visible light. So
Correct. Quite a ways away.
Yeah.
No, there's no hard, I don't think there's any hard edges to any of these band designations.
Here in fresh hard threads.
Yeah.
I saw some Japanese publication that considered 220 megahertz as microwave. It's like, really? Not my book.
Big microwaves. Wow.
So just try it.
There are some mini cupcakes back there. I have no desire to take them home.
Food fight. All right.
Thank you, Steve. That was a great
Thanks for
presentation.
inviting me. Do you have any other ideas of things that can be demonstrated? I'd like to hear.
Boy.
Be able to see standing waves and all of this stuff is kind of cool.
I thought Mr. Wizard was one. She's here.
You guys?
Simple stuff like 30. Stop a couple pieces of aluminum foil and watch it go away.
But it's kind of cool.
Hey, Brian. Hey, Zoomers. Thanks for your efforts. How'd it work? Were you able to? Pretty well. Worked pretty well. Really appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, we're closing down, so thank you guys for participating. See you later.